I'm 36 weeks pregnant this week, and I have a lot going on, but I wanted to share why I refuse to sacrifice my family for fitness and my own personal struggle with this very topic. First and foremost, I am a Christian woman. I'm a wife, a mom, a homemaker, and fitness matters deeply to me. But somewhere along the way, I realized I could accidentally put fitness on an altar. I would love to train every day. Honestly, sometimes twice a day, but I cannot sacrifice my family for those personal PRs and goals. Hey there, I'm Ashley Elizabeth Harvey, a Christian wife, homeschooling mom, BJJ athlete, and homemaker, and I'm passionate about helping moms build strong bodies, bold faith, and peaceful homes through biblical health and fitness for real life motherhood. Thank you for watching today. The first point that I want to make is kind of why this channel even exists and the Reps and Redemption podcast is that for me, fitness is important, especially for moms. I want to expand on this a little bit, but physical fitness and physical health matters. Stewardship, how we steward our bodies. I've talked about that on the show and on the podcast. Strength matters, our energy matters, and training can change your life positively. And I don't believe moms should completely neglect themselves. I have my own personal motto that I do believe moms should exercise and have a creative outlet. This is outside of our walk with the Lord, our own faith, and our family, and our tasks within those things. I do believe that it's just super helpful to sweat, get stronger, build muscle. And overall, it helps us to be more disciplined in our roles. And I do think that having a creative outlet is also really helpful. But I don't think that this is the way that I kind of think about it is I don't believe that we should neglect what role God has us in and what season that we're in. And I know that I can be super guilty of this. And if you're a mom, you kind of understand. And if you love to work out and you love physical fitness, you know that it's a little bit harder to get those workouts in, especially maybe one out of your three kids is sick. Maybe you forgot to prep dinner. There's so much that goes into making our strategic plan and our workout happen. And I think that's where I've learned the most and where hopefully the podcast that I've had for a little while and now this new YouTube channel will help you just see where it makes the most sense and where it fits. So it's not taking or you're not sacrificing your family or maybe a kiddo needs your attention and it doesn't add to frustration. It actually builds you up, builds them up, and it helps us be better moms overall. The second point I want to talk about is respecting the season you're in. Motherhood changes the equation altogether. So one kid is not the same as two or three, and so on. When you have more children, there's more responsibilities. If you're homeschooling like me, homemaking, you're pregnant, there's logistics. You need recovery, you need sleep. You cannot train like someone who's childless when you're not. So this becomes strategic instead of excessive. And let me kind of explain. So when I say strategic instead of excessive, there was a time where I was able to hit the gym every day. I only had one, and then I added another. God added, slash, my husband and I added our second daughter. And it was kind of easy to get to the gym several times a week at the same time. We weren't like fully school aged yet. And I was able to get more workouts in on the daily. And I kind of tried to keep that going when I had my son. But I soon realized with trying to finish homeschool and get this workout in and like leaving the house at 10, 11 a.m. every morning, which I talked a lot about on the Reps and Redemption podcast because I am very much a fan of getting out of the house and going to the gym. But in the season that I'm in now, the last 6 months, this has looked very different and super intentional because I loved that I had that outlet. But I then soon realized I was taking three kids to the gym my oldest daughter at the time, when she lived with us, was with me. And we would go work out for an hour, hour and a half, sometimes with friends, sometimes just us, sometimes trying to get personal records. And although it was a very sweet season, I do remember struggling to get school done when we got home. And as a homeschooling mom, you know that there's things like we're not trying to replicate, at least I'm not trying to replicate public school or even private school. I went to both in my educational career. But I do want my children to be well educated, well read. I want them to be up to date, I guess you could say, with their peers, if not further ahead. Obviously, I'm not going to push some things if they're like, for example, my 8-year-old, she's much more prone to loving math. Totally not me at all. That's all my husband and how God made her. But we do need to work a little bit harder when it comes to reading and spelling and language arts. So I realized that I'm spending, 2 hours a day in the gym. This is not including the 20 minutes there, the 20 minutes back. And then after they played hard, I'm like expecting her to do some heavy, intense work while I have several other things to get done. Maybe it's feeding a baby, maybe it's getting laundry done, taking care of the house. And it just wasn't working great. And I felt like a little bit of tension, and that tension kind of changed a little bit when we moved here to Savannah. And I realized something. I just thought, how can I still get consistent workouts in? It matters to me. I want my kids to see healthy living. And healthy living isn't just working out, it's eating healthy, it's walking outside, it's not sitting down all day, it's being active, it's non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, that's your neat movement, that's walking up and down the stairs, working in the kitchen. If you garden, that's gardening. And I thought, how can I make this work? And it was actually hard for my husband to get to the gym as well, even though it's a little bit closer to us than when we lived in Canton, Georgia. I still have a video to make on the essentials for the garage gym, but it's super easy and cost effective, in my opinion, especially if it's important to you. You can make it happen. But right now we're just using a dumbbell set that we bought and bands. And we also have a pull-up bar. I got that for my husband for I think it was his birthday. Um, yeah, I got the pull-up bar for my husband for his birthday. And it was kind of, for me too. But then I got pregnant and I'm doing dead hangs and holds, but I'm not really pulling up because it's a lot of tension on my belly. But I just started to set up the garage with stuff from Play It Again Sports and Amazon. And how can I make this work where I can still work out if I wanted to every day, or be very strategic and plan my workouts to hit 3 to 4 per week. So it's worked out really well. And now I do go to the gym once to twice a week to lift a little bit heavier. Obviously, at the moment, not right now. I'm not trying to lift super heavy. I have no desire to at 36 weeks and a day. I'm not looking to do that. But having a few things in the garage, and the kids are just outside doing their scooter practice or playing with a ball. And, I do 2-minute rests between sets, and it's just like so much smoother. And it helps both my husband and I get in more physical fitness. And then my daughters will ask questions. Well, why are you doing this? Or what does that do? And it's kind of like a family thing now. It's like a family style of learning more about our bodies and physical fitness. So that has helped in train. I never thought I would be a garage gym mom, but here I am. And then the other thing we do, which I've mentioned before and made a few videos on, is we all train jujitsu. And it is one of the best things I've ever done. I read something the other day. It said, if you're a washed up college athlete and you're a mom who loves fitness, you would love jujitsu. And I'm guilty. I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love it. My training has looked different the last several months, obviously, because I'm pregnant. There's a few things I can still do, but there's a lot that I cannot. And, my professors would prefer me not to do as well. We want to be wise. But adding jujitsu also has helped because my whole family does it as well. So planning like, okay, I can make this class and this class this week. And I'm telling you, I would love to train jujitsu every day. Now, recovery at 41 is different than 21. So I do need to be a little bit more aware of my body and my recovery and the way that I would love to do that. And I would love to train multiple times a day. However, my recovery then is really low and I don't feel so great. So, training jujitsu 1 to 3 times a week is truly ideal. And just adding that in along with strength training and then daily 8,000 to 12,000 steps, which kind of has been hard lately, but really makes this possible to, I want to make it a family affair of health and fitness more so now, especially as my older kids are getting older. We're adding on another one. And, like homeschool problems, getting out of the house before 10 a.m. is crazy, in my opinion. I don't know how other moms do it so early. But I think what's great about understanding the season and knowing where you are in life is super important. And then also you really you're not so stressed out. If you have a little outlet, even just in your garage, you're not training like you don't have kids anymore, where you're gone for 2 to 3 hours a day like I was. And this was a struggle for me. I'm still adjusting to training at home 80% of the time. And then the other 20 is jujitsu and visiting the gym once or twice a week for a little bit heavier lifts. But it can be done. And I think that it can also be something that you look forward to. My third point, I kind of mentioned it before, but seasons require humility. Like I said, it was hard. Grief of slowing down, accepting capacity, just doing less doesn't mean fitness matters less, but you are training more intentionally. And it shows your people that they matter. And I'm not going to go work out or go to a jujitsu class if my kid is sick. Like, I'm not going to, if somebody needs me or my household needs me, and let's be real, sometimes we're like, all right, we're leaving, we're getting out of the house, you're fine. Like, everyone can cool it. We just played outside, we just read some books, like, let's go. Of course, there's a time and place for that. But I think just knowing that it's okay to have a little bit of grief for a season that you were in, like, oh man, it was a little bit easier then. This is a little bit more. I know with a newborn approaching, due date is 28 days away. I don't really know. I have an idea. Obviously, this is my fourth baby, but I don't really know what training is going to look like after the first 3 months. The newborn phase is like 0 to 3 months. We'll take it slow. We'll still do some things after I rest for a little bit and we get to bond and know each other. But I don't know what my jujitsu training or my weightlifting training is going to look like. I do know I've been consistent since I started lifting weights at 16 years old. I will not quit. I will not stop, but I know that I will need to adjust. And I might be grieving this season a little bit because we're adding another kid. So it's going to look different. I want to close with just saying that fitness is important in my home, but it just cannot be the center of my home. I want my children to see a strong mom, a strong dad, not obsessed parents. And this season may look different, but it still matters. And we can still take care of our health and our physical fitness without it becoming the main event every day, all the time, as much as sometimes that's tempting. And I've been guilty of doing that. So I just wanted to share my own struggle with you. And I hope this has encouraged you to know that you can still feel fit, be healthy, train, all of those things, but own the season that you're in and know that it's just going to look a little bit different every step of the way until our kids get probably a little bit older. And if you're still having babies like me, it's going to take some time, but it can be done. I'm looking forward to sharing just some upcoming things with you. And I hope this video encouraged you. Until next time.